The cursor hovered over the send button for what felt like an eternity. The screen's glow the only light in Sophia Lang's quiet kitchen. At 6:23 p.m., she clicked. One line. Per my designation as Primary Designated Compliance Officer for Vanguard Chemicals General Liability Policy, I hereby resign from this role, effective immediately. Attached was the formal letter referencing Clause 7B, the one that tied the entire $3.2 billion policy to her continuous personal engagement. No drama. No explanation. Just the truth in black and white. Sophia leaned back in her chair, the wooden creak echoing softly in the empty house. Cooper, her aging golden retriever, lifted his head from the rug and rested it on her knee with a sigh, as if sensing the shift in the air. The tea in her mug had gone cold hours ago. Outside, the Austin suburbs hummed with evening traffic, kids on bikes, neighbors firing up grills, but inside, everything felt suspended. It hadn't started there. The day had begun like any other. Too much coffee, an inbox overflowing with compliance updates, and the familiar stack of policy amendments crossing her desk at Vanguard Chemicals. 13 years she'd been the unseen guardian of their risk posture. Vanguard manufactured and shipped industrial solvents and specialty chemicals across 48 states, from massive plants in Texas and Ohio to distribution hubs in California. One spill, one mislabeled drum, one failed audit, and the dominoes would fall hard. Her signature wasn't decorative, it was the linchpin. Clause 7B made it explicit. Policy validity hinged on the active involvement of the named individual, Sophia Lang. No substitutes. No AI models. No outsourced dashboards. She'd signed that morning's 5-page liability update without fanfare. Her pen moving across page 3. Bottom right. Beneath the hazardous transport thresholds. Small font, tucked neatly beside sections on real-time environmental monitoring. It was routine, beautiful in its precision. Really, the layered matrices she'd built over years, cross-referenced with OSHA logs, FEMA flood data, and carrier-specific requirements. No one thanked her for flagging the chloride variance that once prevented a $28 million fine during a Gulf Coast storm. No plaques for rerouting a hazmat convoy around a flooded interstate in Ohio, dodging a coverage gap that could have frozen operations. She was the firewall, invisible until tested. But that morning's paperwork carried a digital header from the new regime. Jordan Hale had arrived 6 weeks earlier as Chief Operations Officer, fresh from a tech-adjacent consultancy in San Francisco. 36. With perfect teeth, a wardrobe of slim-fit blazers, and an obsession with agile risk frameworks and AI-driven predictive modeling. He didn't know the names of the plant supervisors or the exact tonnage limits per railcar. What he knew was cost-cutting. Modernize or stagnate, he'd said in his first all-hands. Translation. Legacy roles like hers were on the chopping block. The meeting came at 10:15 a.m. The conference room smelled of fresh espresso and ambition. Jordan sat at the head, tablet in hand, tapping metrics like a conductor. Sophia, let's acknowledge the foundation you've laid. 13 years is impressive. She nodded, reading the script in his tone. He continued smoothly. We've engaged a leaner partner in Denver, Nexus Risk Analytics. AI-enhanced, scalable, lower retainer, better alignment with our growth trajectory. No tears expected from her. No pleading. She simply listened as he outlined the transition, her retainer ending at quarter's close. I understand, she replied evenly, standing to shake his hand. His grip was firm, performative. The hallway afterward felt longer, the fluorescent hum louder. Colleagues nodded politely, unaware. She'd seen his type before, flashy credentials, vague on details. Convinced cheaper meant smarter. Patterns repeated in corporate America, The invisible expert quietly enabling the machine until the flashy disruptor arrives. She drove home on autopilot, hands at 10 and 2, passing the familiar exits. The pothole near the old library. The gas station with the flickering sign. No screaming. No music blasting. Just the rhythmic thump of that back tire she'd meant to fix. Cooper greeted her at the door with his usual tail wag. She made tea, sat at the kitchen table, and opened her laptop. The draft had lived in her personal folder for 7 years. KR_resignation_final_V1. Clause 7 be reviewed annually. Footer updated. No ambiguities. Resignation voids coverage absent written reassignment accepted by carrier within 48 hours. She hit send at 6:23 p.m. Recipients, legal@vanguardchim.com. CC, Jordan Hale. BCC, herself. The tea cooled further. Cooper settled at her feet. The heater clicked on. She stared at the wallpaper, a team photo from the 2017 Industry Safety Conference in Denver, back when her contributions were still remembered. The cursor blinked on a new blank document titled, New Terms Outline. She knew what came next. By 7:45 the next morning, the first signs emerged at the Texas plant outside Houston. Truck 47 idled at the loading gate. Steel drums of solvents secured. Manifest stamped. Driver checking his watch. Dispatch radioed. Insurance verification pending. 13 minutes passed. Then 20. The supervisor radioed back, some glitch in coverage documentation. No one panicked yet. These things happened during system updates. By 8:22, 3 more loads froze. Forklifts sat idle in the warehouse bays. Drivers clustered in the break room trading theories over vending machine coffee. Logistics tried legal. Legal was already conferencing with the carrier's rep in Atlanta. The voice on the line was crisp. Procedural. Discontinuity flagged under Clause 7B of Policy 7842, KP. As of 6:23 p.m. yesterday, the designated primary compliance officer is no longer actively engaged. Absent reassignment filed and confirmed within 48 hours. Policy is inactive. This affects facility coverage, transit risk, and all indemnifications. Silence on the line. Someone in legal, probably young Alex, tried. Surely a clerical oversight. Can we expedite? The rep didn't waver. That would risk fraud allegations. Loop in counsel if needed. The timestamp matched exactly 1 minute after Sophia's email. Word reached Jordan by 9:18 a.m. Via a one-line reply in the thread. Confirm if this is material or just admin? The CFO jumped in minutes later. Then the general counsel. This is material. The subject line mutated. Policy verification to coverage interruption urgent to liability policy compromised. Escalation required. Red exclamation marks multiplied. At 10:12, the manufacturing line paused. Belt stopped. Alarm silenced. Procurement fielded calls from vendors demanding updated certificates of insurance. One major supplier, ChemSource Partners, issued a 24-hour hold notice, $142,000 potential penalty brewing. Client reps texted account managers. Deliveries dark? A Fortune 500 buyer with $12 million in pending orders flagged noncompliance in their system. Jordan paced his office, assuring the exec team it was transitional friction. Compliance overreach. Back online by lunch. Lunch passed. No movement. Legal sent highlighted PDFs. See page 3. Lower right. No one mentioned Sophia yet. The silence spread like fog. HR looped in for paperwork trails. Finance for cash flow projections. IT auditing email logs. Everything checked out. By 2:47 p.m., a site director replied bluntly, "Wait, Sophia Lang was our designated officer?" The thread went still. They knew. Trucks weren't moving because one woman, from her suburban kitchen, had withdrawn the name anchoring $3.2 billion in coverage. The foundation cracked. No storm, no strike, just absence. The emergency boardroom gathering convened at 4 p.m. Mahogany table, leather chairs, and used touchscreen. Jordan at the head, arms crossed. Legal left. Finance right. Compliance. Ops leads. Even HR's lead clutching notes. The carrier rep arrived in person, David Chun. Suit pressed. Leather folder in hand. No handshake. He opened to Clause 7b and read aloud, validity contingent on active engagement of the named individual. Revocation voids unless reassigned within 48 hours. The 48-hour window had closed. No reassignment. Policy invalid. Jordan leaned in. We assumed automatic continuity. Nexus risk was brought in with comparable quals. Chin didn't flinch. Nexus not named on policy. No substitution filed. Tied specifically to Sophia Lang. He slid the page across, her name. Signed repeatedly over years. Finance paled. Legal muttered. Jordan pressed. Umbrella policy covers? Chin. References the primary. Compromise. History cited. Prior OSHA notes. A 2021 recall meant reinstatement required 90-day audit. Site inspections. Until valid officer reinstated and acceptable to underwriters. You're uninsured. Advise against operations. Shipments. Hazardous activities. The room chilled. Jordan babbled about external counsel. No one listened. Eyes fixed on that line. Sophia Lang. They'd outsourced the irreplaceable. Thursday morning brought blood in the water. ChemSource sent a terse demand. Risk validation required. No grace. Then 2 more vendors, RailLink Logistics and Precision Adhesives, froze shipments. Citing contract clauses. RailLink attached a full stop order. Arteries clogged. No raw inputs. No outbound product. Sales looped clients in. 3 key accounts preemptively halted POs worth $19 million combined. 1 video call turned sour when a client's counsel cited termination rights after 48-hour lapse. Jordan spun. Optimization transition. Midway. The clause was read back to him. Legal dove deeper. Discovering Sophia's name embedded in 240-plus documents, contracts, filings, permits, international verifications. She was baked into the foundation. Emergency calls to Nexus yielded polite refusal, not structured for individual designated role. Assumed standard support, not their collapse. HR scrambled. Terminating a designated role tied to federal compliance required notifications to oversight agencies. Forms untouched, Jordan had framed her as contracted support. Suddenly, agencies showed her name active on live permits. Calls pinged compliance. Who pinged Sophia? Jordan's office door closed. Hoarse phone pleas to the board audible through walls. The pattern was clear, firing the quiet expert without reading the fine print. Jordan scrolled Slack threads exploding in unread counts, each a silent accusation. He chased the company he'd claimed to lead. The call came at dusk. Sky bruised purple over the suburbs. Sophia watered her fiddly fig when her phone buzzed. Local code. She answered on the 3rd ring. Sophia Lang. The voice, measured. Careful. Dana Whitaker. Vanguard General Counsel. Hope it's not a bad time. Fine. Papers shuffled. Door closed on her end. I saw the resignation. Insurer, too. You saw the clause? Dana exhaled. Was this intentional? Sophia smiled faintly. Procedural. I resigned. Pause. We didn't anticipate the scope. You didn't read it. No accusation. Just fact. Sophia. Is there a path back? The role. Designation. Jordan's plan is struggling. Sophia leaned on the counter. Depends on reinstatement. We need terms. Different ones. I'm not returning under the old structure. Silence stretched. I assume you've prepared something. Sent already. Check inbox. Dana clicked audibly. Thorough. Your own firm? Lang Compliance Strategies, LLC. Launched days ago. Triple rate. Board-facing authority only. No COO reporting. Independent counsel present at all discussions. That's ambitious. Not my problem to sell. Dana chuckled dryly. He won't like it. He doesn't have to. All right. Calendar it. Sophia hung up, finished watering, pulled a folder labeled Phase 2. This was never just recovery. It was permanence. The meeting room was modest, beige carpet, flickering lights behind legal suite. Smelled of stale coffee and tension. Nameplates cleared. Extra chair for her. Sophia entered alone but flanked moments later by her attorney. Lena Vargas, federal compliance expert, sharp in gray suit. Sophia wore black. They sat. Dana Whitaker waited. Folio ready. Face drawn. CFO beside her. Collar damp. 2 board risk committee members, Marcus Reed and Elena Park, stiff. Observant. No Jordan. Thank you for coming, Dana began. Sophia nodded. Elena Park spoke. We've reviewed. Your role wasn't symbolic. We missed the operational ties. Understood. Neutral. Letting weight settle. Marcus cleared throat. Terms reviewed. Triple rate. External firm. Direct board escalation. A COO immunity. Lena added calmly. Independent structure. You're seeking full reinstatement under new terms, Dana noted. I'm offering reinstatement. You're requesting it. Silence weighed. Power's quiet shift. They had read the print. Elena tapped pen. Lang Compliance Strategies? Correct. Launched preemptively. Marcus raised brow. Anticipated our call? No. Anticipated the policy's response. It landed like gravity. Unavoidable. No pushback. Not on rate. Not on access. Not on Jordan, absent. Unmentioned. Already sidelined in whispers of executive transition. His swagger. LinkedIn wisdom. Cost dreams evaporated into accountability's void. Alignment. Lena asked. Dana nodded. We have it. Agreed. Echoed others. Reinstatement filed within hour under new firm. Full authority. Sophia leaned back, slightly. Steady. Room stilled, no chaos. Just acknowledgement. The dismissed expert returned not pleading, but redefining the floor beneath them. Meeting ended. Sophia stood, nodded, exited without handshakes. Lena followed. In hallway, glanced toward exec wing. Jordan's door closed. Blinds drawn. HR sign. Administrative leave. Do not disturb. She walked on. Reinstatement notice landed at 9:42 a.m. Subject: Policy 7842, KP reactivated. Concise insurer email. Coverage restored via Lang Compliance Strategies, LLC. Sophia Lang designated. Effective immediately. Fresh COI attached. Her firm's header bold. Digital signature clear. No fanfare needed. By her arrival at the Texas plant, machinery hummed, belts turning, forklifts moving, orchestra resuming. Managers exchanged relieved nods. Break room vending machine restocked. The mechanical heartbeat. Unappreciated until silenced. Double doors to exec wing opened. Jordan stood alone. Plain shirt. Sleeves rolled. Expression hollow. Cardboard box in arms. Plant. Rolled charts. Nameplate upside down. Eye contact lingered. He seemed poised to speak, explain. Apologize, but words failed. He adjusted the box, stepped aside as she passed. She didn't pause, didn't speak. Continued down the corridor as operations revived. One signature rethreaded the system. One overlooked clause exposed the single point of failure no spin could fix. In her new modest office, no windows but hers, she hung the framed certificate simply. Reminder: quiet power outlasts flash. Fine print defeats charisma. The gap between stability and collapse is often the expert dismissed. Sophia sipped coffee, leaned back. Risk only announces itself in absence. The moral lingered, in America's relentless pursuit of efficiency and disruption. The unseen foundations, those quiet signatures holding empires, demand respect. Ignore them, and the fall comes not with thunder, but the soft click of send. What unseen name anchors your world today? And what happens when it withdraws? The question hangs, haunting the boardrooms and loading docks alike.